Today I am discussing about the next portion of the chemical equilibrium. In our previous class already we have discussed what is K equilibrium, derivation between Kp and Kc, relationship between Kp and Kc, derivation of K equilibrium, etc. and so on. But we know that the relationship between del G0. Today I am discussing about the relationship between del G0 and K equilibrium. What is the relationship? From the Van 't Hoff isotherm we can write this del G equal to del G0 plus RT ln Q, where Q is the quotient. Now, if or whenever the system, that means the reaction, chemical reaction reaches at equilibrium, so at equilibrium we can write that del G equal to 0. We know that from thermodynamic point of view, at equilibrium del G becomes 0. So, if or whenever del G becomes 0, then we can write this del G0 plus RT ln K equilibrium becomes 0. Because we know that here the quotient becomes K equilibrium because the reaction reaches at equilibrium, and that's why at this point Q, that means quotient, that means the product by reactant ratio now becomes K equilibrium. So del G0 plus RT ln K equilibrium equal to 0. Therefore del G0 equal to minus RT ln K equilibrium. From this relation we can write this K equilibrium ln K equilibrium equal to minus del G0 by RT, and from this relation we can express again that K equilibrium equal to, because we know that this is the ln K equilibrium, so it becomes E base, therefore K equilibrium equal to e to the power minus del G0 by RT. And now we can say that if del G0 is negative, that means del G0 is less than 0, then we can say that if del G0 is negative, then it becomes positive, e to the power positive also becomes positive, then K equilibrium becomes positive, and hence we can say that the forward reaction proceeds in faster rate. Forward reaction proceeds in faster rate. That means it becomes spontaneous. Now, if del G0 is positive, what happens? If del G0 is positive, e to the power minus of del G0 by RT becomes negative. So e to the power negative, that means we can say that K equilibrium here is negative, which is less than 1, and that's why it becomes less than 1. Now, when del G0 is negative, K equilibrium becomes positive, because del G0 is negative, it becomes e to the power positive, and hence K equilibrium becomes greater than 1. Therefore, K equilibrium becomes greater than 1. And here, when del G0 is negative, del G0 is positive. Now, if del G0 is positive, e to the power minus del G0 by RT becomes negative, and hence e to the power negative becomes 1 by E, hence K equilibrium becomes less than 1. So, these are the relations between del G0 and K equilibrium. I am discussing the characteristics of K equilibrium, that means the equilibrium constant. What are the characteristics? The first characteristic is value of the K equilibrium is independent of the original concentration of the reactants. So original means initial concentration. Whatever may be the initial concentration, suppose A reversible B, this is a reversible reaction in a closed container and maintains an equilibrium, and suppose we have started this reaction with 1 mole at first, 1 mole when it becomes 0 mole. After a certain time period, when it reaches the equilibrium, then it becomes 1 minus x mole and it becomes x mole. So the K equilibrium now becomes concentration of B divided by concentration of A, product by reactant. So if or whenever x is the degree of dissociation, it is called the degree of dissociation, that means the number of moles dissociated with respect to 1 mole, degree of dissociation. Now if we started with 100 mole, then with respect to this, it becomes 10x. 100, it becomes 100, so it becomes 100 into x, and it becomes 100x. So the ratio becomes same in all these cases. Therefore, we can say that value of K equilibrium is independent of the original concentration of the reactants, and hence we can say that the value of K equilibrium, which is equal to 100 into x divided by common 100, 1 minus x, it becomes same that of first expression of the K equilibrium. So in all cases, whatever may be the original concentration of the reactant or initial concentration of the reactant, if or whenever it reaches the equilibrium, then the K equilibrium value is always constant. So this is the first part. Now the second point is that K equilibrium has a definite value for every reaction at a constant temperature. We know that already we have seen that del G 0 equal to minus 2.303 RT log K equilibrium. So at a constant temperature, because we know that R is a constant which is called the molar gas constant, and log K equilibrium has a constant value because del G0 at K equilibrium, del G0 has a constant value. It is the standard state, change in Gibbs energy at standard state. So it is also constant, and that's why we can say that K equilibrium is also a constant value if or whenever T remains constant. So it varies with T. So at a constant temperature, the K equilibrium for every reaction is always constant. If T is constant, because this is the only variable, del G0 is constant here, R is constant here, so T is the only variable. So if it is constant, then K equilibrium, the value of K equilibrium is also constant. See this. Now the next point, third, for a reversible reaction, the K equilibrium for the forward reaction is inverse of the K equilibrium for the backward reaction. See again, if we write this equilibrium, then A reversible B, then we can say that K equilibrium for the forward reaction can be represented as concentration of B by concentration of A, and that for the backward reaction, K equilibrium for the backward reaction can be expressed as concentration of A, because in that case that will be the product, A will be the product and B is the reactant here. So concentration of A divided by B, and that can be expressed also 1 by concentration of B divided by concentration of A, and also can be expressed as, see this, B by A is K equilibrium forward, so K equilibrium of forward process. That's why we can say that the reversible reactions, the K equilibrium for the forward reaction is inverse of the K equilibrium for the backward reaction. See this is the inverse of the K equilibrium for the backward reaction. See this, the relation is now K equilibrium backward is inverse of the forward reaction. So if or whenever we started with the reactant, then whatever will the K equilibrium, if it started with the product, then the product K equilibrium value will be inverse. That means will be 1 by the K equilibrium with respect to the forward reaction. Now the fourth point becomes the value of K equilibrium tells the extent to which a reaction proceeds in the forward or reverse direction. Now see this, if the value of K equilibrium is very high, suppose this is approximately to 10 to the power 3 to 4 times, then that means the product by reactant ratio becomes very high, 10 to the power 3 to 4 times. So we can say that product concentration is very high as compared to the reactant. So we can say that the forward reaction proceeds in faster rate. In this case, proceeds in faster rate. But if or whenever K equilibrium value is very low, approx 1, or K equilibrium is approx 10 to the power minus 2, or this, that might not be K equilibrium, that may be expressed by the Q. So if the value of Q is like this, then we can say that Q means quotient, product by reactant ratio is very low, 10 to the power minus 2. Therefore we can say that concentration of product is very much less than that of concentration of the reactant. So that backward reaction proceeds, because in this case, suppose A reversible B is the equilibrium. If forward reaction proceeds, then K equilibrium, which is actually product B divided by A reactant. If B, concentration of B is very high, then you can say that A proceeds towards B, that means forward reaction proceeds. If concentration of A becomes very high, see this, the reactant here, higher concentration with respect to the product. If A becomes very high, then you can say that B somewhat converts to the A in higher rate. That's why backward reaction proceeds in higher rate. So from the expression of the K equilibrium, from the value of the K equilibrium, we can say whether the forward reaction proceeds in higher rate or the backward reaction proceeds in higher rate. And the last point is that the K equilibrium is independent of the catalyst. K K-equilibrium is independent of the presence of catalyst, because we know that catalyst only decreases the activation energy of the reaction. Catalyst only decreases the activation energy of the reaction. This is the activation energy. So it actually helps to reach the equilibrium readily. So this is in absence of catalyst, and this is in presence of catalyst. But we can say that this portion, that means the activation energy is lowered in presence of catalyst. But after attaining this equilibrium, see this, it has no effect, because it decreases the forward reaction, activation energy of the forward reaction, as well as the activation energy of the backward reaction equally, proportionately, and that's why it has no effect on the equilibrium. So catalyst has no effect on the equilibrium constant. Now I am discussing about Le-Chatelier's principle. Say that if a person has entered in a crowded bus for a journey, this is a crowded bus, full packed for a journey, he entered inside the bus. During his entering, he is unstable. Because many people has a tendency to come out or get inside the bus, and that's why he becomes unstable inside the bus, because he cannot go inside the bus readily. He has to work more and more to leave some energy more and more to overcome these crowded people, and that's why he is unstable at first. But if or whenever he reaches at the middle portion, then he is very much stable. Now he is very much stable, without grabbing anything. He can be stable at that place, because in that case the pressure from this side is approx equal to the pressure from that side, and hence if this is the most stable position of that person, now we can say that this is the equilibrium state of that person. So equilibrium state is nothing but the most stable state of a chemical reaction. Here suppose we can say that this person is the reactant and the product is like this, is journey is going on, and during this journey, if or whenever he reaches in that particular space where he becomes very much stable, that state is called the equilibrium state of a chemical reaction. So equilibrium state is the most stable state of a chemical reaction. Now see this, after reaching this state, suppose this is the person, after reaching that state, he suffers an extra pressure from this side. He is very much stable here, but suddenly he suffers some extra pressure from this side. So he will be bent at that side, and now he becomes unstable. Because he has shifted from its most stable state, which is called the equilibrium state, and now he has a tendency to return to its initial state, that means which was its equilibrium state, and hence he has to exert some extra force or pressure to overcome this pressure exerted on him. This pressure exerted on him which displaces him from the equilibrium state, and he has to overcome this extra pressure, and hence he has to exert some pressure toward the opposite direction with respect to the pressure exerted on him. This is actually the Le-Chatelier's principle, which states that if or whenever the reaction reaches an equilibrium, some conditions, that means temperature, pressure, molar concentration, etc. Remains fixed. All these remain fixed. If we change at equilibrium, remains fixed at equilibrium. If at that condition we change any one of these, suppose we increase the temperature, we decrease the pressure, we increase the molar concentration of the reactant, whatever may be, any one of these has been changed, suppose, that will affect this equilibrium like this. If we press these people from this side, these people, this particular person from this side, he will be shifted or bent will be in that direction, and hence it becomes unstable. That's why here also, after reaching the equilibrium, if we change any one of these conditions, then that will shift the system from equilibrium towards the more unstable state, and hence to overcome this effect imposed on it, he has to return to the opposite direction with respect to the effect imposed on it. Suppose we increase the temperature, that's why the excess heat must be removed. If we increase the pressure, suppose we have given some external pressure excess, then that means the system has to overcome this pressure towards the opposite direction. This is called the Le-Chatelier's principle. Each and every system after reaching equilibrium, if we change any one of these conditions, then it has a tendency to return to the initial state, that means the most stable state, equilibrium state, so as to overcome the pressure effect, temperature effect, molar concentration effect, whatever may be the effect imposed on it, and maintains the equilibrium state. Now I am discussing about the different effects on equilibrium. According to the Le-Chatelier's principle, first effect is effect of change in concentration of either reactant or product, whatever may be. Suppose in Haber's process, nitrogen is in gaseous state plus 3 hydrogen in gaseous state, reversible to maintain the equilibrium to form the product ammonia in gaseous state. Also, it is an exothermic process, so it liberates some amount of heat energy, Q calorie of heat energy, suppose, because here del H is negative as the reaction is exothermic in nature. Now, this reaction maintains in cold closed container. That's why we can say that equilibrium is equal to ammonia square divided by nitrogen into hydrogen cube. Now, inside the closed container, if ammonia forms but cannot escape, suppose the container is closed and that's why it cannot escape. Therefore, the numerator part is increased, but we know that at constant temperature, K equilibrium is always constant. If the numerator part is increased, so to maintain the K equilibrium constant, denominator must be increased. That's why then some ammonia get dissociated to form nitrogen and hydrogen again. That means backward reaction proceeds, and hence we can say that with the increase of the concentration of the product, backward reaction rate increases. That means equilibrium will be shifted towards the backward direction. Or if we add some nitrogen external source, then the denominator portion is increased, but K equilibrium again is constant at constant temperature, because K equilibrium is only depend on the temperature. So at constant temperature, if we add some nitrogen again, it increases the denominator, but K equilibrium is constant. So then excess nitrogen combines with hydrogen to form ammonia, and hence forward reaction increases. That will increase the rate of forward reaction. This is the effect of change in concentration. Next portion is the effect of change in temperature. Second is the effect of change in temperature. Effect of change in temperature. See this, according to Le-Chatelier's principle, if the temperature increases after attaining equilibrium, you have to say after attaining the equilibrium, after reaches the equilibrium, if temperature increases, then the equilibrium will be shifted. Equilibrium will be shifted towards the endothermic process. That means the excess heat will be absorbed. Endothermic process. See this, in the above reaction, forward reaction is exothermic. So if the temperature is increased near about 700-800 degrees centigrade, because the optimum temperature is 500 to 550 maximum degree centigrade. So if the temperature is increased after attaining equilibrium, if the temperature is increased, then the equilibrium will be shifted towards the endothermic, because the backward reaction is endothermic as the forward reaction is exothermic. So some ammonia get dissociates to form nitrogen and hydrogen, and hence rate of forward reaction, rate of formation of the product gets dropped. These are the first two effects: effect of concentration, change in concentration, and effect of change in temperature. Next point is effect of change in pressure. See this, again this equilibrium, nitrogen gaseous plus 3 hydrogen, this is the Haber's process. 3H2 gaseous in a closed container, it forms 2NH3 gaseous. Forward reaction is exothermic in nature, it liberates late Q calorie of heat energy. So see this, number of the moles of the nitrogen is 1, number of moles of hydrogen is 3, and number of moles of ammonia is 2. Therefore, total number of moles of the reactant is 4 and that of the product is 2. This is the number of moles of the reactant, number of moles of reactant, and this is the number of moles of product, reactants. This is the number of moles of the product. Hence, the number of moles decreases. As the number of moles decreases, del N is negative. Therefore, we can say that we know that V is proportional to N at constant temperature. At constant temperature, according to the Avogadro's law, at constant temperature, according to the Avogadro's law, number of moles is directly proportional to the volume. So, as the number of moles decreases, we can say that volume decreases in the forward reaction. Volume decreases. So, again, from the Boyle's law, we can say that P is proportional to 1 by V. So, as volume decreases, we can say that high pressure is required for this reaction. So, P actually for this equilibrium, we can say that P is proportional to 1 by V, and as V is proportional to N, so we can write this P is proportional to 1 by N. So, as the number of mole decreases, pressure must be increased. If number of mole is increased, then pressure must be decreased. So, this type of equilibrium must be maintained at high pressure, and hence it requires the optimum pressure is 200 atmosphere pressure, because the number of moles in forward reaction decreases. Now, if the reaction is like this, hydrogen gaseous plus iodine gaseous, reversible 2HI, as the number of moles remains same in both the sides, reactant as well as the product. So, pressure has no effect. This is the first part when del N is negative. Here del N is 0. This is the second part. So, pressure has no effect as the number of moles in both the sides are equal. Pressure has no effect, because we know that with the decrease in the number of moles, pressure increases. With the increase of the number of moles, pressure decreases. But if the number of moles, change in number of moles remains same in both the sides, number of moles remains same, then pressure has no effect. In case of C, suppose PCl5 in gaseous state dissociates in equilibrium state in closed container to form PCl3 gaseous plus Cl2 gaseous. So see this, del N is positive here. Del N is positive, and hence we can say that pressure, because as del N is greater than 0, number of moles increases in forward reaction. So we can say that pressure must be decreased. So pressure at equilibrium must be decreased to increase the production, to increase the rate of formation of PCl3 and Cl2. To increase the rate of production, pressure at equilibrium must be decreased. Fifth point is effect of catalyst. We know that catalyst has no effect on the equilibrium, because it only helps to reach the equilibrium more readily. But after attaining equilibrium, it affects both the rate of forward reaction as well as the rate of backward reaction equally, and hence it has no effect on the equilibrium. But effect of adding inert gas, this is the last point, effect of adding inert gas. Inert gas can be added in two ways: at constant pressure, at constant volume. Now, at constant pressure, if del N is negative, at constant pressure, if del N is negative, in that case, suppose in first case N2 plus 3H2 reversible to NH3, this is the expression or example where del N is negative. Again, number 2, H2 plus I2 reversible to HI, here del N is 0, and number 3, PCl5 dissociates to form PCl3 plus Cl2, here del N is positive. So, if or whenever del N is negative, we can say that rate of forward reaction increases. Rate of forward reaction increases. If del N is negative, at constant pressure, if we add some inert gas like helium, neon, etc. and so on inside the container, closed container, then the rate of forward reaction, that means rate of formation of the product, increases. If del N is equal to 0, so it has no effect on equilibrium. No effect on equilibrium. If del N is positive, then rate of backward reaction increases, or we can say that rate of forward reaction decreases. That means rate of formation of the product decreases in that case. In this case, rate of formation of the product decreases. But at constant volume, if we add some inert gas inside the container, at constant volume, it has no effect. At constant volume, it has, if we add some inert gas inside the closed container, inert gas inside the closed container, it has no effect on the equilibrium. These are the part of the Le Chatelier's principle, and we know that Le Chatelier's principle is applicable in both the cases, physical as well as chemical equilibrium.